Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review series for the 5th of March in 1983. And we have journeyed through the end of 1981. We've journeyed through all of 1982. We are entering month 3 of 1983, and pretty excited about that. I think things really pick up in 84. So we're, about a year away from the run. I wish that the network had 86 and 87, the UWF years, up, because that was my majority exposure as as an early tape trader. So, and yes, there were people that would send videotapes and DVDs later in the mail to keep up on what was going on in wrestling for those that are younger generation. Of course, if you're younger generation, you probably don't care much about the older content, I imagine. I could be wrong. Maybe if you're a wrestler, you might care a little bit. But anyway, we kind of move into March of this year, and it is, to say the very least, a interesting time for a number of reasons. A lot of angles develop in the summer months. We actually see a videotape report of the Junkyard Dog doing school visitations. He goes to an inner city school in, I believe it was Louisiana, and talks to kids about staying in school, not doing drugs, all of the things that you would imagine a role model to do. Good PR for Mid-South Wrestling beyond all else, and obviously Bill Watts had a lot of faith in the dog at the time to give him this responsibility. Then we move to basically, I think, a recap match here. And again, as I reopen my notes here, just a reminder that as we move through these, I'm doing this series to have a comprehensive option for folks who actually care about the history of the business, and primarily for future wrestlers who don't have time to sit through and watch everything, but also just the psychology of what wrestling could be, what it used to be, what it was when it mattered. And speaking of matters, I will get my phone because that matters, and we will be back momentarily. Hang in there. And as can be imagined, we see, a good bit of a downtime. I mean, 83 in Mid-South seems to be, at least the first half of the year, seems to be a time when they're kind of, I don't know if I want to say rebuilding, but there certainly seems to be some challenges with where they're going. This is a case of almost not having enough baby faces, or at least compelling baby faces. And I mean, by 84, that all changes. We kind of see Mr. Wrestling 2 beating up on Skandar Akbar for a minute. Akbar tries to, that is the main focus here. We see another guy in a white mask come out. And Wrestling 2, obviously, a major babyface. Kamala comes out. Kamala does a lot of destruction and damage, and then this almost seems more like a review show in a lot of ways, and everybody knows I'm not a fan of those. They go back to the December 18th version of the program, highlighting, that whole deal, and then we finally go to a match of more value, Black Ninja against Jerry Caldwell. That, is a highlight for Kabuki, the Black Ninja, whatever have you. He's out there with a kendo stick, back when kendo sticks weren't used in every other match. Strikes, back fists, and sweeps and kicks by Kabuki. Kabuki, at this point, still a major talent, and remains one, I'd say, through about 1984-ish. Still at least another year in the gimmick. I don't know. It's sad that there isn't a lot of Florida footage available. That's where Kabuki seems to have done the majority of his stuff. He was in world class for quite a while, but Kabuki ends up getting a victory using nerve holds and other things. We then go to a relative newcomer, I believe, in Rip Rogers. Rip Rogers facing off against Ron Ellis. Rip Rogers does come along pretty regularly, though. Ted DiBiase and Ron Ellis. DiBiase gets a good bit of ride time, kicking down on his opponent pretty consistently. And then some rather hard shots, big body slam, and a backbreaker by DiBiase. DiBiase in control, not necessarily in control of the Rat Pack as much as he once was, but does get a victory here. He manages to get that victory with a uh, power slam off of the backbreaker, and he's mocking every opponent that's in front of him. He is not a happy person about not having as much control as he once did. That will dissipate even further. Mr. Wrestling 2 and Tiger Conway Jr. are up next. They are facing off against Kelly Kiniski and Ron Kessler. Don't know much about Kessler. He seems like a relative enhancement talent, just kind of passing through the area. Conway Jr. becomes more of a major force. He has faced off with Kamala a bit. DiBiase, they do the go around with him. Kaniski rather, do the go around with him, and very basic match. I think the match is there to highlight Conway Jr. Kaniski still hasn't found himself. We kind of had that conversation before. Wrestling 2 seems to be thrown into a good number of tag team matches, just as I don't want to say an afterthought, but it's kind of there. He does get some mat wrestling time, including leg grapevines and the like. We then see head scissors, grapevine, and some tag off. We don't see much of Kessler in the early part of the match. He kind of stays on the outside, so I don't know if he's just inexperienced or not wanting to get in there. Kessler finally does get in. Wrestling 2 it catches him with a couple of shots to the midsection and the like, and that is there. Finally, a roll-up win for or a roll-up attempted win for the Conway and Wrestling 2 team. Then we move to another contest. This one, Mr. Olympia returning against Matt Bourne. Bourne, I believe at this point, a former tag team champion, which is pretty rare because, well, Bourne has been a champion for a good bit. Greenish gold mask for Olympia, a little bit different there. Mr. Olympia returning after being banned from the area for several, I think 90 days, 120 days, something like that, but several months. Anyway, misfire by Bourne. Bourne also gets caught with a dropkick under the chin. Olympia manages to roll up Bourne into a near pinning combination and then works on the arm quite a bit. Then we see Bourne managing to body slam Olympia. Olympia holds onto the arm again. Olympia, much more of a mat tactician than Bourne, although Bourne can do it because he has the second generation stuff of falling body slam. By Bourne, Bourne manages a shot to the back with the knee and kind of continues the fight quite a bit here. More body slams by Bourne. Bourne goes up for the bombs away. DiBiase still out there with his former tag team championship partner. Notice there is I guess you'd say, a propensity towards Bourne being, I guess, favored by DiBiase. Bourne does the bombs away and jumps right into the knees of Olympia. Olympia manages to get the shot to the groin. on Bourne without really, breaking any rules or meaning to, whatever. And Bourne rolls to the outside, recaptures his footing and bearings and all of that stuff. Olympia allows that to come up and not really happy with what's going on. Anyway, finally, we do get a finish to the contest, and Olympia manages to get a victory here. Lundy and Horner, which again, two relative newcomers, but it's a sign that even newcomers in 1983 can go. Horner comes up with a headlock early. Guys were trained so much better back then than they are now, by far. The training today is abysmal because it's not legends or people that have done training for the most part doing it. I know a couple of 20 or 30-year veteran trainers who came up with the last group of the territory guys, but for the most part, trainers today are just guys who watch video and think they can train, and it's not that way. Anyway, Anderson manages to lock in a reverse chinlock, some slam on the arm by Anderson. Then he goes to the top turnbuckle, or the second turnbuckle on the inside, drops an elbow. Rare to see Anderson take that kind of risk, so he's still finding his moveset, which is kind of cool. Big back body drop by Horner. Horner manages to drop the leg. Many people would say Horner is, I guess, going to be in charge of things here. Gets a roll up and a near victory there. And obviously, Horner, manages to go at it for a while. Anderson starts the sunset flip, and I believe they go to a non-finish, closing the television program with a non-finish. Again, Anderson shifts the weight, gets a near fall, and really, Anderson and Horner probably put together a match that tells a better story than at least half of what's out there today. In a basically opening card type of scenario. Anyway, we will be back with more action right after this.